Now coming to the second subtask of the rock paper scissors project, we will be handling computer choices. That is, we'll be updating the get computer choice function and the random choice function. So if you remember earlier, I had explained what the random choice function does. It basically takes a list which has a rock, paper and scissors, and you're going to randomly choose from that list, thereby creating a random option. And in the get computer choice, we'll be basically calling the random choice function to get the random choice. So over here we have our import, that is the random class and scanner class. Now in the public class CodeChef, first we're going to have a static integer u score. So we're going to have both user score and computer score over here initialized to 0. And I've explained this in the previous subtask. So over here we have our random choice function, which is going to return string as an input. And we're going to take in random as an input, which is an integer. So basically what we'll be doing is we'll be calling another function, basically over here get computer choice, which is going to give a random integer. And then we're going to pass on this integer to this particular function to give out a particular output, that is either rock, paper or scissors. So if the random number generated by this function is 0, we're going to return rock. If it's 1, we're going to return paper. If it's 2, we're going to return scissors. And we have our default case over here. So default case won't even happen because we'll be choosing a random number between 0 to 2. And getting a number outside of it is impossible, but we're going to define it anyways. So we're going to return empty if it's default. Coming to the random number generation part, that is the function where we generate a random number, that is get computer choice. So in get computer choice, first we're going to initialize a random object called random. And then from this random object, we're going to call the random.nextInt function. And we're going to store it in random number variable. And we're going to give input as 3 because we want a random number between 0 to 2. And that is excluding 3. And then we're going to store that in random number variable. And then we're going to pass on that random number variable to the random choice function which we defined over here. So effectively in the main function, we'll be just calling this function. We won't be calling this too. Coming to the main function, as I've explained previously, we're going to initialize scanner objects and random object. And then we're going to print out let's play and this game is best of 3. And here we have our while loop. So this is pretty much same as the previous subtask, except over here we're going to call the get computer choice function. That is, we're going to store whatever we get output from get computer choice function in computer choice variable. And then simply we are printing it out. And finally we're going to increase the round count and break out of the loop. And we're going to close the scanner to free up resources. Let's just run this code once. So let's say my choice is rock. So computer is going to choose paper. Right now we haven't done the part where we're going to compare both of them and determine the winner. We are simply making the computer choose in this. So let's say I give paper. So you can see it's printing out both our choice and the computer choice. Let's just submit this code once. So I've passed both the test cases. Let's move on to the next subtask.